we'll have a wider coverage of all the drama.
No,
Exactly.
this isn't the IRL record. We once had 6 people. The first week I did comms
Six.
with 6 people on comms.
Damn.
Damn.
Crazy. अच्छा चालू हो गया. कुछ बोलो. Mic check, mic check, mic check.
Mic check.
Manav asked me to cheat for him earlier.
Quite the mic check.
All right. आवाज आ रहा है. You all can do the intros while I share the link.
Okay,
Okay, I
guess
guess
we
you all
should
can.
start.
Yeah, you can just do the intros.
Yeah, one sec. I'm just checking if the stream is like up.
I'm कर रहा हूँ. I'm tagging everyone.
All right, it is. Okay.
Yep, I've shared it as
Hello
well.
everyone.
Yeah.
Hello everyone. Welcome to season 9, round 3, division 2 of the Indian Racing League. Special edition today because it's a special occasion for a certain driver. So we have more than one person on comms, more than 2 people on comms. It's a whole 3 people, maybe 4. Hello Redstone and Chips.
Yes,
Hey,
hello indeed.
Vifix.
So, after quite a while, this is the 3-person comms lobby.
Yes. 2 seconds, Ted's moments coming up
Yep.
now.
And, well, let's get on with it. So, Austria, how do you all feel about the track in general?
It's relatively a boring track for me, to be honest. Like, it doesn't excite me by any means.
I mean, yeah.
I think it'll excite the drivers because you do see a lot of moves here. It's basically a straight line, the entire track. So chances come a dime a dozen here. So I mean, I think we will be watching the pit lane entry, which is always a
Yes,
fascination around here.
most certainly.
I mean,
The
I've been a victim of that. Like, I remember getting a 20-second penalty for 2 pit lane cuts. So, around here, it's
I
my
don't think
turn to
there's
return the
anybody. I think this is
favor.
like this is like a league racing bucket. If you haven't gotten penalized for cutting the pit lane here, then you can't be called a true league racer. I think definitely it's something all of us go through.
Definitely. I mean, I'm sure everybody has cut the pit lane at least once, and if they haven't, they're just lying. And I believe we have the first car coming up to finish their lap, or is that no? So we have Shrikant about to come across the line to finish his lap, and it's a 1:05.9. Competitive?
Yeah, that's a racer. That's a racer. That's a racer.
Yeah, he did use battery, so as we can
Yeah,
see
you can
from
see
his
his fuel
battery
load
indicator.
though, just from his
Or
fuel
maybe he made a few mistakes during the lap. So,
Possibly.
can't really
And
say.
there you go, Mayank with a 1:58.
Yeah.
A tenth better than Shrikant, but then again, it's and I can't make out the fuel. So, yep, Shrikant did
Meanwhile,
have
Manav
a lot of fuel.
shamelessly with 16 laps of fuel on his car,
And
circling
oxidize
the track.
in the Haas, the other Red Bull of Dal Makhani coming up to the line to start his lap. So we haven't seen a lot from Dal Makhani in the past few months, I believe it is. So what do you expect him to be? And he runs wide.
All I say is that I hope he follows in his family legacy. That's my very short thing with him. As Raman spun around and he has no front wing.
Yep, and he invalidated his initial lap as well. So not sure what's gonna happen with him, but nonetheless, his teammate Deadly Mosquito coming up to the final corner, and let's have a look at his line through here. Pretty all right. I think he went a bit deep into that last corner, but nonetheless, he comes up to the line. It's P2, about 3 tenths of the pole sitter, provisional pole sitter right now, and well, I'm not sure. I think we should have. Do you see anybody
There's
on a
a lot
lap?
around this track.
Oh, Hershey running wide and invalidating.
I see someone. I see
Oh.
Sid Venkatesh on his lap.
Yep.
The Centurion, Sid Venkatesh. A man
That
who
is-
since May of 2020 hasn't missed an IRL F1 league race. So, 100 races Can you guys come up with some quick Sid memories? Uh, just to,
Not
I
too sure.
for any viewers that might be new to this,
I
what
think when
is
it
one
comes to
thing?
Sid Venkatesh, he's just like I would call him Mr. Consistency in attending races as well and on track as well. He keeps out of incidents as much as he can, and he's a very clean racer. I mean, hoping for a really strong result for him, given it's his 100th race start.
Yeah,
And
and
it's
more than
P6.
his race starts, I would say it's the his behavior off the track is more commendable sometimes than what he does on track, and what he does on track is pretty special as well. Not won that title yet, the elusive driver's title. Still, hopefully this is the season for his sake. Um, but yeah, Sid has just been constantly there since IRL was just a thing, just a small thing in season two, to now where we have two divisions and just a much bigger enterprise.
If I would have to sum him up, like
Hello,
Sid
gentlemen.
Venkatesh, I would just say he's the daddy of IRL in a lot of ways.
He has raced with every possible generation of IRL racers, so he's quite experienced. And I have a bit of an echo on on my end. Who would that be? Is that the fourth person to join the comms box? Easy level bot. Is that you?
Hello, hello, hello.
Yes. Hello indeed. And
Uh,
could you just check if the echo is on your end? Can you just like mute yourself for a second, then unmute?
okay, let me do that.
Yep. And do you hear the echo again? Okay, I don't. So I think that is the issue.
I muted you, I didn't mute myself.
I'm not sure. Well, damn, damn.
Yes.
Shots fired.
Yes.
Yes, certainly.
No, I was joking.
But yeah, meanwhile, Shrikant, the man on form right now, first and second in the two races so far.
Yes, and the points table is not
Driving the
updated.
2023
Yeah.
Red Bull as well because he's just that illegitimate, and the 2024 Red Bull, and the 2025 Red Bull, and the 2026 Red Bull at the same time. Look at that car.
True
Oh,
words
that
were
was a
never
weird line
spoken.
through there.
And he comes up
But
to the
yeah,
line
from a
and he
Ferrari fan
improves.
indeed.
But yeah,
So, what are your top three predictions for quali?
quali, interesting. I'm probably gonna go with well, I'll go with the provisional pole set as of now, Oxidize, and I am gonna go for Mosquito and Shrikant. What about you all?
I think it's Oxidized, Shrikant, and I think Thakur was going to do something in qualifying at least. Um, it's just quali prediction, so then I feel quite safe with that one.
Oh, what's going on here between the Red Bull and the AlphaTauri? Who is that? That is Shrikant and I believe Smith. So something odd happening between the two of them at the Albon corner.
The yeah,
I
the
mean,
more
wouldn't be the
interesting
first time.
prediction, yeah, the
Certainly
more
not.
interesting prediction is Malev's doing his race runs on soft tires. Will he even use these softs in the race as didn't do in Portimao and in China? I don't even think he's gonna put on the soft. This is just a shameless way to kill time. I think this deserves a ban, in my opinion. What is he doing?
That's a valid reason, I would say, to give someone a race ban. Definitely.
Down in P11 as of now. Let's have a look. Two
Meanwhile, why
drivers.
don't one of you take us
Yeah,
through a...
entire lap. All right,
Yep.
certainly. Vifix, I think you can do the honors, but just find somebody who has started their
I'm
lap.
kind of okay. Thakurva is through the turn one, so yeah, here we go. Thakurva in the Aston Martin, and I think
No
he's
battery. He has
done
no
his
battery.
lap already.
He has no
That's
battery.
yeah.
Yeah.
No one is on it. Everyone's on an
Mayank,
out lap or an in lap.
Mayank. I
It's just,
guess
or...
okay.
Yep, Mayank would
No,
be the
yes,
next
get to his lap.
person
You
to
can start
take
with
us through.
Sid. Sid starting his lap. So why Why not?
Okay, here we go. Sid into
Oh,
turn
Deadly
one.
Mosquito with a 105.4. That's a solid lap.
444 blessed mosquito right there. But anyway, Sid, coming up to this uphill corner, there's a bump right here that can unsettle your car. Doesn't take the complete outside of that turn, which does give you extra lap time, but it's more difficult to stop the car. Now, same thing can be applied for this next turn here, this right-hander, the infamous sore loser corner. Uh, in the third gear goes down to second. I think that was a bit of an unnecessary shift, but coming up to seventh gear for this, takes all of the curve on the entry. Can he get it hooked in for the exit? Yes, he can so far, looking like a half decent lap, but he couldn't take that flat out. He had to lift there slightly, which leads me to believe he's not happy with the balance of his car as he comes to the sweeping left hand and then he's gone wide and he thought about pitting, but he didn't, and I think the lap's gone away from him right there.
Yep, he probably had to lift off to avoid that kind of invalidation on that corner and missed the apex of the penultimate corner, which just put him off shape for the rest of the lap. But I think Mayank should be another one on a lap. Is he? So we
I
can
think let's see how
probably
he
come back
takes
to him.
this now.
But there's
No,
a
I think
Red Bull,
he.
fast Red Bull that's crossing the line of
No, I think, yeah,
Maki has gone back to the pits.
So
Yep.
top five are all in the
And
pits.
Mayank is about
Rahman's
to, I
on
think,
the
start
route
his lap. I think
How
Mayank
is
made
it
a
that
mistake.
everyone's on the route lap? And Hershey spun as he's invalidated at the exit of sector 2. He had quite a good lap going right there. And he hasn't
And
set a legal lap time yet.
Mayank
So
in the pits.
Meanwhile,
7:30.
the likes of Rabi and Abdul haven't left the pit.
Yeah, that's just the strat. That's the
Yep,
strat.
that's
That's just what
trademark
they do.
Abhi and Abdul.
That's the Azun Driver Academy right there.
And we have Raman starting a lap in the Mercedes. So it's the number 94 is the Pascal Wehrlein Mercedes. And let's see.
And Malam, meanwhile, completing his 8th lap in this session on soft tires. That is, how shameless can you get? Meanwhile, Raman is 2.5 tenths up in this sector 1
Yep.
of this lap. So
Following him. Whatever's going on. Okay.
yeah,
I see a recurring theme here, people shifting down all the way to second gear for that corner. That's a
I
little
don't think
odd for
it's
me.
necessary. I
Yeah.
think I think nobody wants to risk much right now. Raman's just all of that time in the middle sector, so
Yep.
I
And
don't understand that. Yeah. I think he's gonna pit. He's gonna pit.
he is. Yep.
That
That
him a
is.
penalty in the race. Don't do that, Raman. If you're watching the stream.
Yep. Let's have a look. I believe Spandan is.
No, Spandan is not on a lap. He's
ये अभी YouTube पे अपन live stream कर रहे हैं
You know what? Let's just be quiet for a moment. Let us
yes.
enjoy the thoughts
This is
of
that
easy level
listen
bot.
in lap on Sky Sports F1. Yes.
Yes. All right. As we say that, it goes silent. But let's wait for it.
Now Hershey is again on a lap, but he doesn't have enough fuel to finish it. Now Hershey is again on a lap.
अभी तो I don't know अभी तो 7 people are viewing. We've got some 200 250 380 fucking 380 subscribers हो गए हमारे. We just started last couple of years.
Sorry, viewers.
This is some behind the scenes content right here. If you buy IRL premium memberships which are available for 99 bucks, I will be sending my phone pay link to you guys. This is definitely a thing that exists, and I am not scamming you right now.
Meanwhile, Austria is poised to start a lap.
Hershey goes
I think we should
P8.
go on board with him.
Yes, I believe as well. So, Redstone, why don't you take us through the lap?
But you can do it, Chips.
And he's invalidated, and that is gonna carry on into the next lap.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
it is.
Does
Oxidize.
he
Oh
have enough
no.
fuel?
Probably
Okay.
I would love to take someone through a lap. Tell me who.
Yeah, nobody wants to do a lap anymore. Meanwhile, 10 laps. the shamelessness of this man. It must
Grounds for a
really be
league ban.
applauded. Like, yeah, it's what is this?
I
As
mean,
it is,
it's what he's doing right now is quite representative of the car he's driving. So
It's back to 2020. Does that mean Madhav is going to finish on the podium here?
he's been fired from a lot of roles in the Indian Racing
Yes.
League. I think he deserves another one now.
Oh, and
Meanwhile,
Alpine has
Hershey
spun. No,
is
that's a
last
Williams.
second. Yeah, that was Hershey right there.
Well, Hershey's not
Meanwhile,
having a good time.
Vintage also not on a
Oh,
lap. Dal Makhani not on a lap. Smith not on a lap. Sid on a lap. On a lap. Okay, let's see.
I
Through
think
the middle sector. Okay,
I
yes, a purple middle sector, but I don't know whether that's purple or not.
3.5
that's
tenths.
probably Cody's doing Cody's things.
Yeah.
there is
Through the final two corners, the last corner, a decent line through there, and he comes up to the line. This could be pole. It is very close. It's 105.5. That is about tenth and a half of the pole sitter. And wow, bit hot into turn one. So Sid performing pretty well, and I believe that is what I had predicted as my top
Meanwhile,
three.
Oxidize is on a lap. His final
Finally,
attempt.
exactly. This is the last minute of qualifying, and as the checkered flag drops, only if
That's
you're
good
on a
right
lap you
there
can
from
complete it.
Oxford.
Dal
Good turn, and Dal
Makhani!
Makhani goes 4.9 PSI. Hand over the controller to your brother. Actually, wait, I'm kidding. He's faster than PSI.
What about
Now, what is
Oxidize?
Oxidize gonna do? He's not
He's
up
improving,
by enough.
but not by much.
That's
Exactly.
not gonna be enough. Yeah, it's not gonna be enough.
Deadly
Mosquito's
Mosquito.
down in sector one.
Yep, and through the final two corners, let's just have a look. He's gonna get a bit of a toe from the McLaren head. No, that's a Haas ahead of him. I'm not sure who that is, but he comes up to the line
Yeah, this is not gonna
and
be enough.
he
That's not
improves,
gonna
but
be
not by
enough.
enough. That is P2 for Oxidized Rage, and Dal Makhani cannot improve.
Where
What
does
about
that
Deadly
come
Mosquito?
from?
Deadly Mosquito could displace Oxidize, but there's a Williams ahead of him who is causing him a bit of grief. I'm not sure who again. Is that Hershey again? I'm not sure. He's the only Williams who's been featured this entire qualifying session.
Could get it. No, he can't. He cannot do it.
P3,
That's
but what about Deadly
Mosquito.
Mosquito? He lifted off a bit, I feel, into the final corner, but he comes up to the line
no
and
one's
it is.
gonna get
Yeah.
this.
Nah, that was a bit of a mistake. They said in the pits, Spandan pits, Thakurva. Raman is about to finish his lap, but I believe he is down by half a second. And yup, no chance. Mayank.
Why is Thakurva's car just stopped on the hill going backwards?
I'm not sure, maybe just plunked it into
I will
neutral.
just point this out that Malav has done 25% of the race distance now.
And we have Ace coming up to the line. I believe he's going to be the final car. And from P13, he jumps up to P12. Okay. 3
What
tenths,
happened to
but
Smith? He never did a lap on fresh tires.
I don't think Smith got to the line in time.
Yeah, I think
That
he
is what happened.
miscalculated it.
Yeah. It is pretty easy to misjudge a lap time at Austria.
Make sure you revisit your math lessons, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, your 25% calculations weren't really on point, but that's off the
I
topic
mean,
now. But
he would
Thakur
keep on
only,
he would keep on going if the time allowed it to. He would not quit. So
I'm just wondering how much he has the capability to sweat. Now he has 36 more laps in front of him, but let's see how.
he's going to complete 50 laps of the track by the time we're done with the race.
Meanwhile, Oxidize is in a Red Bull sandwich at the moment.
Yep.
Yeah, and I must say that's very impressive from Dal Makhani to take pole by 3.5 tenths almost in Austria that's quite a lot considering it's only a 64-second lap time.
Yes, certainly. I believe the last time we saw Dal
Something
Makhani
his
was
brother
season
could
7.
never do. Yeah, that's something his brother could never do, has never done. So yeah, he's already better than the best driver in his family. So,
And since you guys haven't let me talk much on qualifying, so I'm going to take our viewers through the race start.
All
and
right.
make some contributions in the comms box.
Yes. Feel free, and you can run through the grid order as well.
There. Alright, Dal Makhani is apparently PSI's cousin, taking pole position. Oxidized Rage right behind him, 3.5 tenths. And just behind him is Shrikant Das, so that's going to be an interesting battle to watch out for. Deadly Mosquito, Sid Venkatesh, Spandan, Thakurva, Raman, Mayank and Hershey rounding out the top 10. Meanwhile, Vintage Ace Smith, the legitimate time setters there. Not even Smith, maybe. You Can Beat Me, Dan Lord, Abhi, and Abdul Samad occupying or completing our race grid for tonight around Austria. I'm not sure what the weather is like during the race, if you have any kind of ideas.
It's a
I
wet
did have
race.
that exclusive scoop coming in that it was wet, but then it was
And
also
it
Manav who
is.
said that, and it is wet, and it is wet. So, yeah.
All
Trust
right,
my word
so
for it.
interesting. It is just going to be an interesting turn one, then lap one, turn one. Meanwhile, drivers might just be a bit cautious as well to not have their
Ye-
front wings collected. But let's see. We know we have likes of Shrikant Das starting in the front row, who's had some pretty much Maldonado-ish history. Let's see he doesn't
Nah,
go
it's
ballistic.
Verstappen history. Maldonado is more
Oh,
talented. Let's put it clear right
I
there.
mean, that ship has sailed. He's channeling in his inner Max.
Yeah, Maldonado's team hasn't won in 11 years since he left that team, so it's really levels to this. Do not compare the two.
all right, until I take us through the race, why don't any of you take us through the formation lap and the strategy choices of
And
these
everybody
drivers?
on the intermediates, as we would
Yeah, I
expect
think
them
the
to be.
strategy. I think Shrikant will be
Oh,
on that side pod strategy where he tries to run into someone's side pod. That's his strat right there. Um, yeah. The rest, I mean, if it's the wet the whole way through, you technically don't even need to stop on this track because tire wear will be very little.
Right,
I
probably.
mean,
yep.
it is quite if we could pull out a no stopper and Silverstone in wet conditions. I think it's quite easy to do a no stopper here.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
And
what are your predictions for the podium for the race?
I would say probably oxidized Sid
oh,
Venkatesh and Smith.
Sid and Thakurwa, what are they doing?
oh,
That is not how Sid would have wanted to start his 100th Grand Prix here. And it is Thakurwa, somebody who, let's just say they have a bit of history. A bit.
I am being too kind.
That's a bit of an understatement, but
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. Nonetheless, I believe the rest of the
So
there's a lot of bunching up going on.
I think we should all divide roles. I think whoever's streaming should watch the front pack. I think I'll watch the rear guard because it has Malav in it, so it's guaranteed to be a bundle of laughs. And I guess Redstone and Easy Level can watch the mid pack as it goes.
Yeah.
Yes, certainly.
That's a very great, brilliant idea there, V-Fit.
And I believe we are about to see the pole sitter
As
come up to the final corner. He is taking it a bit tentative.
as much as I talked about maths lessons, but I think you've got your management lessons pretty much on point there.
And there you go.
Oh, and luckily,
I was just going to ask if someone's going to pull a TBK, and I see that.
yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, no, we did it. That's all I'm gonna say. Um, and my mom's calling me.
It's the
But yeah,
smartest way to warm up your tires. But yeah, carry on with fix.
That's good
And
parking by oxidized there.
yep. And that is a bit of an aggressive parking over there.
Kandaloo,
Abdul, last car on the
DSK.
grid. So Gaurav, you can take us through.
All right, Oxidized Rage pointing towards the left. So aggressive start right there, as you all pointed out. As we have the 5 lights, a bit of a pause, and it's lights out. And away we go. A tentative start for all the drivers, but Oxidize
Sid.
has gotten a good start. He's going down the inside at turn one, challenging the Red Bull driver. Is he going to take the lead of the rest? Oh, contact between Red Bull and the Haas, and Sid Venkatesh wants to make the most of his 100th start of the Grand Prix or Indian Racing League career, but Haas has not given
Meanwhile,
up.
Spandan
Oxidize
sending it down the inside and making.
That was almost the
There's a
fairy
lot of
tale
chaos and
inside. Sid
Aston
almost.
Martin is careering across the track and he crashes into the wall.
Oxidized there.
Thakur was
That's a
out.
safety car. That's a safety car.
And
That's a
is
safety
that a
car.
safety car?
That's a
That
Yes,
safety
is
car.
a VSC.
that
It's a
is a
VSC for
VSC,
now.
yes.
We
Dramatic
were
crash
this
there.
close to having the fairy tale start for Sid Wine. He was this close to leading his 100th Grand Prix.
Yep, and
And meanwhile,
Oxidized
Spandan
wasn't.
just like he wasn't waiting. He just dove down
Yeah.
and made contact with Sid as well while he was at
Yeah,
it.
and to the opposite of that, Shrikant had a terrible start. He was like 10th before we even reached turn one. He's managed to recover a few of those.
I
But
mean,
yeah, that's
considering he's running medium traction, that's quite surprising.
yeah. I mean,
And I believe the safety car is going to be in VSC rather is going to be
yeah.
called
Silence
back in
speaks louder than words
any
ever could
moment.
at some points.
But yeah, it's a pretty bad start for Dal Makhani. He and Oxidize were really jockeying going into turn one, and I
Shouldn't
believe
well
there's
at the start.
some unfortunate moments over there. And what's going on here
But
between Harshi is going
Hershey and
backwards,
Deadly Mosquito.
Hershey has spun. Hershey has
oh,
spun.
and he
No
is
win
driving
for
towards
Hershey
the
as well.
wall,
And it's green flag now. That just
and he's
compounds
hit the
the
wall. And
yeah.
I
That's
thankfully,
probably a
think
rear wing damage as well.
yep, and the timing screen is glitched as usual. Nothing
Yeah.
new about it.
and I
But
Million
think I
dollar
think
comeback.
Hershey was trying to go for catch him off a better safety VSC restart in terms of managing the delta, and something happened between Mosquito, I believe, and Hershey. That's probably what I think, but let's see.
Yeah, meanwhile, Manav
We'll all
making a move
find
for
out
towards
in the
ace on
inquiries
Dan 1.
channel.
and Dan Lord coming so
Oh,
close to rear-ending him
oh,
there.
and ooh.
Wow, you can't really do
Why
that.
didn't he go for it? Yeah, he should have really gone for the kill by that, and
But
Lord would have
yeah,
respected him much more. Um,
absolutely. And okay, we have 16 drivers left. Let's just
Meanwhile,
divide it into four
Shrikant
parts.
really on the back of Raman right now, or 10 separating those two drivers.
He is literally pushing Ramen out of a
Ooh,
few corners. Can he
oh,
get
meanwhile,
a better exit?
Deadly a
Would be
mosquito
the
overtaking him on the inside of the sweeping right-hander.
That's a bold move there. It's a great move.
Yeah.
Is
and
Vintage
just
gonna send one down the inside? No,
nope, he's
I
gonna
think he's
wait
gonna
for
hold
his
Well,
back.
Abdul
moment.
Samad now passing Dan Lord, who
And
really seems
Vintage
to be
mounts the
struggling
curb
right
there.
now.
Yep, and
Hershey
Hershey into the pit
meanwhile
lane.
does pit.
I mean, I'm probably think he's gonna retire, but look at Vintage up the hill going into turn three. He is gonna send one down the inside. Is he? No, he's not. He's a bit too far back, but he
And
might
he
get a
makes
better exit.
contact with Deadly Mosquito as well.
It's very difficult there because there's an elevation change. So to figure out the spatial awareness right there is a bit difficult. Meanwhile, Malav is flying right now. He just overtakes Smith, who lets him through. So that means he has pace right now. He is moving the wheel in anger.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Oxidize has pulled away by 2.2 seconds.
While Sid is under pressure
Yeah.
from Spandan.
Yeah, for the sake of Oxidize, I hope he finishes this race. He needs to be doing that more. Uh, at the end of the day, a 2.1 second lead is only as good as the moment you crash. So,
Oh, we have a yellow
yellow
flag for
flag.
Hershey. No,
Alfie.
Abhi.
no, that's Abhi. He's
That's
Sorry.
running it.
Abhiya.
Shouldn't be a safety car,
And
I
he
think.
is doing the Valtteri Bottas strat.
No, he smart there, avoids the rear contact.
Meanwhile, Dal Makhni is back in this race and he set the fastest lap as well. He's really
He's
finding
going
some
at
pace out there. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Srikanth and Raman coming a bit close, but then again, Srikanth, I don't think it got the best of exits out of turn one. But up ahead, look at Spandan. Look at Spandan on Sid Venkatesh. The Williams driver and the Ferrari driver. This is reminiscent of 97, I'll say. Yeah, I think it's the right
One
year.
more thing,
And
if there's
Spandan.
no safety car, keep an eye out for the fuel loads because Spandan has an entire lap less of fuel.
Yep, the Williams MFD. Not the MFD, what's it called? The steering display.
But I sincerely hope we do see some kind of transitioning weather
And
conditions.
Spandan loses
Spandan.
the rear a bit.
And that's gonna give Dal Makhani all the impetus he needs. And I think into the on the main straight, Dal Makhani is probably gonna make a move.
Yeah.
Yep, Spandan
The
struggling.
edict that I said for Oxidize applies to Spandan too. I hope for their sake they just finish the race. They need some checkered flags soon enough. It's
Yep.
been some time.
And there's a lot of
Meanwhile,
bunching up going
Srikanth
behind
Duff
Ace.
is
Can you just
also
check?
hounding Ramen up
Yeah, but
into
without
turn
DRS
one.
it's
Let's
so
see.
difficult. It's
Yep,
so
that is.
difficult without DRS because you everybody's gonna harvest a lot right now because you're breaking so much and it's just straights as well. So there's
And
hardly anywhere to
Malav with a good exit,
stick a wheel.
attacking Ace around the outside of this uphill section, and he has probably made the move, but I don't think Ace
Yeah,
is gonna
he
let him
has made
by
it.
without too much.
No, he has
Oh,
made it. He has
Smith
made
comes
it
very
stick.
close.
He has made it stick.
Good move
And
by
right
Malav
now,
there.
Malav he's carrying front runner pace. I must say, he's been the only guy who I've seen who's been able to consistently overtake right now. So
Yep, I think he's probably
props to
sandbagging,
him.
and Smith sending one down the inside at the Albon corner, and he makes slight contact with Ace there. He's missing a right end plate, and Raharshi with the fastest lap, but that is pretty bold of Smith there. Wow.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
the
is
strength,
still
the wing
possible to
damage.
continue with end plate missing in wet conditions around here. So
Yep, and
Meanwhile, Shrikant and Raman trying to go side by side with the right-handers.
And
You can
Shrikant,
see
oh,
how much he's getting held up, but he can't do anything
yep,
about it.
Raman's not
I think
supposed
he
to move out
really
of the
needs to
way,
line and exit up.
Shri,
and
Shrikant's
Meanwhile,
probably
Spandan.
not.
Spandan might get sick.
Shrikant's having to brake to not run into the back of Raman there.
Yeah,
Yep,
I know that feeling all too well, as Dan was the first person to get a time penalty.
yep. Up ahead, I think Spandan also got a bit close, and Shrikant must be getting so frustrated, yeah.
I'm surprised he hasn't gone down to his idol's book
By the
and
way, the
just
rain has
rammed
disappeared.
into that Mercedes right
The
Yep,
now.
track
and
is
that
still
was
damp, but the rain has
precisely
disappeared.
what
Smith and
was.
Ace, once again, this time Smith does make the move, and this might also give Abdul Samad some reason to make the move on the Haas, but Abdul doesn't get a very good exit. Uh,
And I
yep.
think
What would
especially
you guys do right
Austria,
now if it became dry?
I
Would
would
you do
still
the two stop?
continue.
Would you still stop for mediums and go to mediums again, or would you just go to
I
hards?
would end up on hards, I guess. Like just put on hards and like go to the end because I think hards will last around.
And Spandan
And
pits, alright. The first
Swanman,
person to make a
He
pit
Swanman,
cuts
stop,
the
Swanman,
pit
Spandan.
lane
Swanman,
while he's at
Swanman,
it.
Swanman,
Yeah,
Raman
Swanman.
cuts the
why?
pit lane.
Dal Makhani as well. You all
No,
can just
no,
keep a
no,
track
no,
of who is
no.
gonna enter into the pit lane, so you can check for pit entry
That Swanman one was
cuts.
caught
But
in 4K by me.
Raman
yeah,
was caught as well.
Dal Makhani on mediums, Spandan on mediums as well. So the driver's not trusting the conditions whatsoever. The track is still pretty damp. I would have probably gone
Yeah,
another
I think it's
lap if
too
I was on
early.
track.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
would have gone
and
until
judging, and
DRS
I've
Vintage on
seen the
hards.
whenever
track
is
map.
fine.
I've seen the track map, and yeah, Stuart's Inquiry is going to be an interesting place with the way the
And
sometimes
Abhi
it
keeps well
seems
within the
like that.
pit lane limits.
But what do you think?
And
What do you guys think? What is a good time to pit?
well,
Because
I
it
think
I
it's
think we can
now.
we
pit
have
Now
this
is the
lap.
time.
Yeah, this lap.
I overcut is always probably a better choice when transitioning from wet to dry
Meanwhile,
because the
Oxidize is still
inter
out there setting purple sectors.
He will be setting purple sectors
And he's gonna
because the
box.
track
Don't.
is
yes he
Yeah.
is boxing,
little
he is
Oh, it's a bit
boxing.
temperature.
close.
Cut that.
I think that
Sid
was
takes it
within the
clean.
limits.
Nope, I think they're both just within the limits.
Yeah.
So I think we
Now
can
Mayank.
excuse the both of them.
Mayank's an
Mayank
experienced
is
one.
gonna
No, that was
box.
close. That
What
was
about Deadly
close.
Mosquito?
Yep, I
On the
Yeah,
think
line, but I
he
think
got
he's
it.
alright. Malav, I
yeah,
couldn't see
Mark
him.
has
And
given
Smith.
everybody the strategy
Oh,
Oh,
sheet
Smith.
Smith
within
cuts
the
the pit
shot.
It's
lane.
gone off. It's gone off.
I
No,
mean,
no.
would you call
Nah,
it going
it is.
out?
No, yeah, it is going out. It is going out. We
All
should
right.
stop it.
So let's have a look. I'm gonna keep an eye out for Spandan, who is gonna come out. Where is he come out? Gonna come out in regards to Sid and Oxidize. He's
That's
gonna have
already
the
out.
warmer tires, and he is probably gonna get Sid up the hill.
But
The
sits on
Williams and the
hard.
Ferrari.
Sits on hard, so he doesn't have to pit
Yeah,
anymore.
but then again, he doesn't have to pit again, and
And
he has colder tires, and
it's
Sid
pretty
is
handsome for Smith right now. Sid, I mean,
yeah,
because
And
he's
Spandan goes
and
deep.
Spandan deep. Yep, further
I
back,
think
Raman and
Oxidize
Mayank.
went
Oh,
rather
Mayank sends
deep.
one down the inside. He runs very deep into the corner there, and he loses another extra position to Shrikant there.
oh Manav on the grass right there, Madre Mios.
Well, meanwhile, it's a three-car battle going to brew between P5, P6, and
Oh,
P7.
Mayank and
Oh,
Shrikant.
the inside goes Mayank.
DRS enabled.
And
Sector to yellow flag.
Oh,
Who
someone's
spun? Is
crashed.
that Smith?
Smith crashed. Smith.
Yep.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Yeah, it
And
goes from
Ace and
bad to
Deadly
worse.
Mosquito. And behind them, Abdul Samad as well is a three-car battle. As they enter sector 3, we have a 2 sector yellow
Oh,
flag. What a...
Shrikant's
Oh
fun,
no.
Shrikant's fun. Let's go.
Just gonna
Oh,
follow this
let's go,
3-car
let's go,
battle
let's
for
go.
now
Yes,
because
yes,
this
keep
is...
following
Oh
that
my
battle
god.
because that
Wow.
was almost a three-wide moment in one of the
And Abdul gets
Yep.
deadly
trickiest
mosquito. He's
corners
lost
of the
two
circuit.
positions and all of that.
Yeah. My day is made now after seeing that, so I will just be in a very
What happened to
broken mood
Shrikant
for the
here? Didn't
next
even
two.
catch that?
He's fun.
Meanwhile,
Alright.
Spandan really finding pace in dry conditions right now. He's really closing in on Oxidized.
And Shrikant, I think, got a better
Will
exit and he is
oxidize.
gonna challenge Malav up the hill into turn 3 and he himself is gonna
And
challenge
Madhav
Vintage player.
himself is going to carry vintage. Oh my god, that
Oh,
was
this
very,
is
very close.
very, very close and Vintage with the switchback. He
Oh,
makes contact with the Ferrari
Madhav
there.
gets trapped. But
Yep.
I think it's fine. I think it should be fine. All
Yep, I don't think
squares.
there's any damage.
Yep,
Thankfully.
Luke in between parking his car right at the apex.
Ace on
Meanwhile,
Abdul
Dalmok
for the
also
final
getting
points
this.
position. Ace on Abdul. And I can't make out. And there you go. Ace has made the move, but Abdul with the switchback gets back past the horse driver. Alright, and Vintage and Shrikant battling. This is a very, very close battle.
Side by
And they make
side.
contact.
Ooh. No, they
Slight
don't.
contact. Slight contact.
Oh, wheel to wheel.
No,
Oh, Vintage
major
had to back
contact
out there. Yeah.
I think Shrikant was watching your stream chips and he said slight contact is not good enough for a Red Bull driver. He
Yep.
has to go in full in.
I think he's interested in flashing other drivers. So
Yes.
that's what he was busy with.
Yes. Hopefully he doesn't get near Abdul in this race.
Yep.
Meanwhile, there's quite a big gap, isn't there, from the top 4 to P5? And
Yep, I
terms
think
of
they're just in the league of their own. And
position.
Deadly Mosquito sends one on the inside. He just well,
Deadly Mosquito's been quite feisty with the moves, and he's pulled off a great move as well.
and
in the
Ace might be
first
under
stint.
pressure. And Mosquito with the move around the outside. Is he gonna get the better drive? No, he runs very deep into that corner, and he certainly lost the position there. Yeah.
Yep, I think
Yeah,
the
so-
dry conditions have just sprung up the race.
Yeah,
Now
I feel like the
everything-
Ferraris right now are in quite a good position. They're both on hard.
Let's follow Spandan though, as he and Oxford is going to turn 1. Sid has fallen back by about 3 seconds. He's going to be under pressure from Dal Makhani, as we can see the background there. But Spandan, the fastest lap, he is really pumping up the pace here. And I believe,
Dal Makhani right there. For context, and he's catching Sid a lot as well. But as soon as we say that, Spandan has a bit of a moment and can't exploit the DRS.
And
First zone.
he gets the car nicely slowed down here as well. He's pushing.
and Dal Makhani on Sid, while Shrikant on Malav as well.
This is a battle to watch, guys.
Oh, P3 changes positions, changes hands, sorry. Dal
And they
Makhani and
make
Sid Venkatesh.
contact.
Oh, they make contact there. Was that a
Many
clean
of them
move?
yield.
No,
Wheel
Sid
to
is not
wheel.
yielding. I thought that he would have chosen his battles, but he clearly wants this position right now, track position.
Oh, that's so close.
This is
But I
some
think
great
Sid
racing
should
though.
just-
Meanwhile, Vintage
we
and
should
Abdul,
just-
same thing.
Sid could probably follow him a bit, take his DRS. He knows he's
Oh,
on,
and
he's on the hard
Vintage runs into
tires.
the back of Abdul there.
No,
Does
I
he?
think that was the lag.
No, that wasn't the lag.
And Shrikant on Malav, who is, well, driving a bit. Oh, I think Shrikant had to just brake a bit there. But nonetheless,
Meanwhile,
I think
Sid
Shrikant is
Venkatesh
fast
looking
enough
to
to make up
come
that
back
7.6
at the Red
second
Bull
gap.
driver as well, defending the middle of the track is Dal Makhani. Sid
Oh,
goes
no.
around the outside.
No, no,
Is
no.
pushed
Oh,
a
that's
bit wide.
that's
This
a
is
beautiful move right there.
and this was totally Max Verstappen Charles Leclerc moment from one of the races in Austria a few years ago. But Dal Makhani decides to back off from that.
Yep, let's have a look at the
Move
other
there.
Red Bull Ferrari battle. Malav and Shrikant. And no, Shrikant does not get a good
And
exit.
Malav's
So,
already flashing.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Sorry, children.
It's not to Shrikant as well. Yeah, so I think that's
yep.
that's why Shrikant's not overtaking him yet. He's just mesmerized.
Oh, and he's on the inside. Shrikant getting feisty around here. Wow.
Oh, no.
That is some intense pairs of battles that we've got all around the track.
I think he's just too excited with Malav flashing. Oh, and they make contact! Malav has been spun around!
Oh, no.
I saw this coming, guys. I saw this coming.
Yep,
If
I
he's
think
driving the
Dal
few of us
Makhani
Lamborghini
and
did, and
Sid,
Dal
inside,
Makhani and
Dal
Sid back for round 2. Sid gets some
But Sid
fantastic
once
drive.
again, yeah,
Yeah,
the same
exactly.
thing. But
Sid gets some
and none
great
of them have
drive.
DRS. Oh no, Sid
And
does,
Sid
and he
gets
forgot to
DRS.
deploy it. And
Yep,
he forgot to deploy it right
goofy
another 2
things.
seconds.
And
No,
Ace and
I mean
Deadly
like Sid is
Mosquito.
really
and Deadly
making his
Mosquito.
100th race start count. He's making the drivers sweat for it.
Yeah, and right now he is in one way in the race lead because he doesn't have to pit.
Yep.
Exactly.
And just want to say, up ahead, Oxide is doing a pretty good job of keeping Spandan at bay.
Yes.
Despite Spandan having DRS lap after lap, Oxide is doing just enough. And he's doing a very, very good job there.
And
So props to him.
I've gone on board with Oxidize as well. He's really not pushing too much right now.
I mean, I don't think it makes sense for him to push too much. He is in a
Yeah, I
comfortable
think he's
Yeah,
position.
just
because
concentrating. I think he's just concentrating on the exits.
And,
Right now,
and
you can see coming off of these. It's round
And
3
Dal
between
Makhani
these
back.
two.
Yep, round 3. What is Dal Makhani gonna do? He's gonna send one
whoa,
on the
that was
inside.
a
Wow.
well, his red light is flashing now, so he doesn't have a lot of battery to contend with. It is
Oh,
going
that
to
is an
hurt him
aggressive shutout right
And
there by
Sid
going
has
into the
Oxide.
lap
DRS. Wow.
yet again.
Oh, I
Although Dal
just hope
Makhani
they
has the
don't
inside
collide.
line, no, he
But he
decides to
backs
back off.
out of it.
So,
Doesn't have that battery. I think Sid might just have taken that bit of battery advantage there and
yep.
secured his place. I think this is now probably the time when he might just be able to rest. As much as Dal Makhani's got a lot of pace and he can just tuck in behind Sid and probably recharge his batteries for a few laps and make a move on him again. And very unlikely of Spandan, also that is
oh, and
uncharacteristic. He
that
has
Dal Makhani being
saved a lot
compromised
of
a bit
battery.
there.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's how you don't run into the back of a Ferrari while you're in third place.
Shrikant should take notes, yes.
Certainly. And now it is round 4. Dal
Let's see
Makhani back
what
behind
happens
Sid
this time
Venkatesh. I
around.
think Sid is just playing his cards absolutely right. He's lifting off just before the DRS detection.
To be honest,
But
like I've really not seen Sid defend as hard as he's doing right now before.
I think
yep,
he's really geared
and
up for his
on this
100th
occasion, Dal
race.
Makhani has the DRS and he's gonna
DRS,
go
and
for a
smart
move
from
down
him
the
as well. He knew that,
inside. Yep, and
and
Sid
he
probably
should
gonna go for
have
the
done that.
switchback. No, he
No, that's a very
isn't
good
able to do
exit
it.
right there
Yeah.
from Dal Makhani. That's a very good exit.
I feel
Yeah,
like
and that
Sid
was
will get a
smart.
better exit if he ran a gear higher through that corner because he's shifting down all the way to
Yeah, but
second there.
yeah, I don't think he needs to risk it right now. That's what's worked for him. It's still in the race lead, regardless of what happens.
Yeah.
So,
But he is losing time.
Meanwhile, Spandan gets a
Spandan
3
gets a
second.
3.
He's pushing way too much.
Yeah,
Yep.
Easy,
and
but I
that
think it
was,
is
and
very
Sid almost wins
uncharacteristic
right there.
of
Yeah, Sid made a
Spandan that
mistake. Yeah, as well.
his
But
red
he,
light has not flashing already. He is one of those drivers who likes to deploy his battery quite a lot early on to the race rather than manage it. But I think he's gotten his lessons
Yeah,
and learnings pretty much on point.
yeah, I
Meanwhile,
think.
Oh,
oh, and yellow
Shrikant!
flag,
Shrikant again, the
Shrikant.
Last
noob,
corner.
the noob, getting upstaged by a 15-year-old. I cannot write this. You cannot write this right now. Um,
And he's now
I'm pretty sure
right
this is
back with
Dal Makhani's
Malav.
third or fourth league race on this game. Yeah.
And Shrikant back with close to Malav.
We have very unbiased commentary here in the channel.
I mean, we are redefining what bias means here today.
But meanwhile, Spandan is I
Spandan.
think closer than ever this time around.
No, he lost out massively
Yep, look.
in
He's just,
the second last
oh, he's
corner.
left the
second
session.
last corner.
No wonder.
He shifted down twice. Like I think he went down like 3-4 gears.
He's disconnected.
Oh,
Yep,
Yeah, yeah,
Spandan's
I
no
got
longer
that.
in the
oh
lobby.
yeah, no wonder.
Exactly. Oh, that is going to
No,
be
he
painful for
disconnected
Spandan.
after he was 1.5
A yellow
seconds.
flag for Shrikant once again.
Shrikant.
If one of you can please send Spandan an invite.
No,
Dan
it says
Lord
he's
as
already in the
well.
lobby. It says he's already in the lobby.
Dan Lord spun as well.
I mean, Shrikant was really confident going into this race as a championship leader, and he was confident he was going to
He has
perform
joined
really
somehow.
well.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Sid now doing the smart thing. He's now hanging back, saving up with the RS again. But I must commend Dal Makhani right there. Unlike his brother, he actually used his head and he realized that Sid kept getting good runs out of turn 3. So he just decided to not overtake him up the hill this time and instead
Bro,
do it at the second DRS zone.
yep, and that was indeed a smart move from him. And now it's the battery condition is also the other way around. The Sid's red light was flashing a few corners ago, while Dal Makhani probably has done some conservation. And Sid is also out of his DRS, so
And he's gonna
just
get
a
DRS
second.
now.
He's
But
gonna get
I
DRS
must
now,
say, I
yeah.
think
Sid
Dal
got a
Makhani
bit
is
of
running a lot of downforce here because you just seen Sid gain like 3 tenths on him without DRS. Just in that one small straight.
Yep, and now I must say Spandan is really gonna feel the pressure here because he was comfortably
Is
ahead
he
of
back?
those behind
Yeah,
him,
he's back.
and yeah, he is back. So, but now he is about what 5 seconds behind Oxidize.
Meanwhile, would Ace be lining himself up onto the Mercedes driver up ahead? Does he? He does get a
I mean,
No,
why
but I
complete
is he
don't
win.
think.
not taking the slipstream?
I think he wants a better run into the
Remember,
next year zone.
Spandan's fighting for a lot here. He's fighting for because he did cut the pit lane, so that's a given.
Yep.
Nothing you can
I'm
do about
sure
that.
there's gonna be a lot of post-race penalties applied. And I'm gonna make sure the stewards are aware of all the pit lane cuts because I need some sort of retribution for my reports. Oh wait,
Oh, and
yellow
there's a yellow
flags.
flag
It's
for a
Mayank. It's
McLaren.
Mayank. It's Mayank. Oh no,
Is the
that's
only
such a good
McLaren in the
race in
race.
P6. There's
Mayank.
such a good race in P6. Meanwhile, Abdul, who was like dead last when it was raining, has somehow climbed up to 6. That's
Meanwhile, let's look
interesting.
at the position changes.
All right. Yep. The screen is up. You
He
can take us through.
Abdul's gained 11 positions.
Silent
Wow.
assassin.
Quintessential
As
Abdul,
a
isn't
zone
it?
driver academy reaping its benefits.
Yeah. Meanwhile, one driver has lost 10 places,
And
so
Abdul gets a bad run out of turn one and he's on the grass. What's he doing there? But Vintage trying to make the
You think
move
Vintage is
up
gonna
the
send
hill.
one down the
I
inside?
think he certainly is, but is he going to be able to make it stick? Yup, he does. He sends it on the inside, that
Oh,
is.
meanwhile, two cars going both wide of track in the background. That was Mayank and Mosquito. Or Ace. I think
Yep,
one
that
of
is
them.
Ace and Mosquito. Ace and Mayank, sorry. And what about them? Yeah, Mayank was having a pretty decent race until he had that spin. And
Vintage
yep,
went all the way down to the first gear for turn 3. That was really odd to see. Wow.
and Abdul is falling a bit further back. But yep, you would you like to run us through the position changes? No? Okay. Alright, should I do it?
Go for it.
Alright, okay. So we have Oxidize who's gained 1 position, Spandan who's gained 4, but he has quite a few penalties coming his way. Our pole setter Dal Makhani has not had the best of race starts and he is now 2 positions down from his starting position. Sid Venkatesh up a single position, Raman up 3 positions, Vintage up 5 and Abdul up 10 positions from 17th to 7th. Ace up 4 places, Mayank has retained position. He was, I believe, running in P6. So, well, that is a bit of an unfortunate thing for him.
I mean,
go ahead.
what's happening with Oxidize? He's just lost like a little over a second to Spandan.
I think he's just
he's
conserving
not
battery.
pushing right now.
Yeah,
I think
exactly. Conserving his tires, conserving his battery. He's playing it smart. Because I think that is what
He's
you do.
leading by
And
6 seconds right now because not only does Spandan have to overtake him, he then has to gap him by 3 seconds plus the pit lane incident. So he is actually leading by around 15.
yep.
And Dal Makhani is on the case now of Spandan as well. So
And I think the Al Makhani is really going to give Spandan a
And
bit of a headache.
Spandan's ran out of VRS as well.
Yep, but I
meanwhile,
think
I'm having conversations with the man above right now, and he says 10 seconds plus warning to Shrikant for picking RVR.
all right. Interesting tactics. Well, let's have a look. Further back, we see Smith and Malav back together once again. They were together at the start of the race, and I believe it was Smith who let Malav by because he had fronting damage. And on this occasion, I believe Malav is going to do the same. giving the favor
No,
back
he's
to
not.
Smith,
No,
and he
he
lets.
really made us think.
Yep, and but Oxra
Yeah,
is in the pit lane.
Oxford Spitz. That's
I would have
quite
expected
soon. I
him to
think he's
go
going on
longer.
another set of mediums. Another set of mediums there.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
would have
I mean
expected him
that's
to
the
go
only
longer.
thing that makes sense. I mean, it's fair enough to
He's
be
hoping to
honest.
come out ahead of Raman.
But is
Oh,
he?
that's
I
long.
don't think he is. He's gonna come out ahead of Vintage, I believe. He's gonna come out behind Ramen. Yup, no chance. So he is gonna be in
Yeah,
free
he would.
air, but then again, what do you do in this situation? I think it would have been wiser to run a bit longer into the race.
Yeah,
Wait for a
and one
possible
thing is
potential
he
safety car.
gonna be able to make up 15 seconds on Sid in 14 laps.
He has the
Plus
pace,
overtake
but
him.
yeah. So Azun says good start from Oxidize. Well, let's see if it pays dividends for him. I'm a bit skeptical at the moment because we have about 15 laps left to go, and Shrikant
Yeah.
with a
Oh,
penalty.
Because
and
he still has to clear
my
Raman
God.
as well, and that's not going to be
Yeah.
an easy pass.
Yep, Ram is not gonna
Oh,
just let
meanwhile,
him
the
by.
man above informed me, Redstone, that you have been noted for an incident involving where you wanted to give the stewarding committee work. That's from the man above right there. Meanwhile, Dalwakani going for the lead now on Spandan.
Here's a
He needs a good
message to the
exit,
man above freedom of speech.
Just say you're
and
on
he
air
gets a good
commentator.
exit.
That line,
Yep.
I slayed with that line the entirety of last season. I think I've introduced Chips to that line as well.
Meanwhile,
The
Dal
dialogue
Makhni
of
has
P3.
taken the lead of the race.
Yeah.
Yes, and Spandan demoted to P2. And for the back, Ace and Abdul, and okay, Abdul in the pit lane. So Abdul doing the same strategy as Oxidize, only just one lap later. So what do you guys do if you're Spandan and Dal Makhani? Do you pit or do you stay out?
They have to pit. There's no way the Stars are making it in the end.
No, like, oh, sorry.
And
When do you pit? When do you pit? And what
I'd
do you
say
pit for?
now, immediately,
So
you have to go for mediums. There's
I
soft
mean,
won't make
they're
it.
just losing time staying out now because
Yeah.
they're gonna
at
come
the start of the race,
out
Mythic, you
behind
said that.
Oxidize
vintage.
is not gaining at the rate that we expected him to.
Yep.
He needed to gain a second every
And
lap.
Spandan
Every
cuts the
lap he
pit lane
doesn't do that.
massively. I mean, he didn't even make an attempt there. What was he
I
doing?
think he knows. He knows he's in on it.
20 seconds there.
Yeah,
Yep.
Redstone.
Spandan, I mean,
Yeah, he pulled a me.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, hopefully PSI's advised Dal Makhani about the pit lane thing.
I sincerely hope so because we are yet to see Dal Makhani make a second pit stop. And yep, Spandan has come out behind Oxidize and not by much, but then again, he is going to have very cold tires right now. Uh, the hard runners, should they also possibly pit later on for softs? Do you think it's worth it?
I don't
Oh,
think Sid is going to pit. I
no
think he's
point.
looking in a
Yep.
good position
And
to
Mayank
win this
on
I don't
ace.
think
race.
for
Mayank on ace,
Sid,
and
but
Mayank
I
makes the
think
move. Ace is gonna defend it. He is gonna. No, why is he being so
But
tame with
I
his
don't think
defense?
any of the hard tire runners are in a position where they could pit and keep positions.
Unless there's a safety car.
Yeah, the only one I could see is maybe Abdul, but he just pit. Why did he just pit for hards?
Yeah,
Oh,
why
and
did he pit for
Raman
hard?
loses it.
No, no, and he hits the
And
wall.
he,
Yep.
that's
That didn't give him credit.
definitely a rear wing damage considering
Yes,
the
and is he gonna
impact.
Meanwhile,
box?
I don't mean to jinx him, but this has not been a good game cycle for him so far. But Vintage is having a very steady race. Hopefully, he didn't cut the pit lane. That's all I'm thinking.
No, Ramen was
P5.
clear. Yep, and Ramen, what does he do? See, it is about 11 laps as of now. So,
But
do you?
one thing I'll say is that Dal Makhani is actually gapping Sid
And
still. So he clearly has
yes,
a lot of pace still in that tire. So it might not all be lost.
I think Dal Makhani is gonna pit for softs, just like Ramen has done, because it's just like about just over 10 laps left. And I think you had said at the start of the race that tire around here is not too much of a factor. It is certainly, but not too much. So I believe Dal Makhani is gonna box sometime soon for the soft tires. Mosquito
But
with the
again, the
first
softs
lap.
fall off so rapidly though. That's the issue.
Yep,
Yeah,
towards
but I
the
think
end they
you're
are.
seeing what's happening to Oxidize right now, and he's just not doing it. He has closed up at most by like half a second since he pit
Yep,
to
it's.
Sid, and that's not going to be enough.
I'm not
So
sure, but
he
I.
has to
Oh, we don't have Harshi with us in the session. I think Harshi is disconnected.
Yeah.
Can we send him
Let
an
me
invite?
send him an invite quick.
Yes.
I'll do it.
Thank you. And Azun says that Oxidaz has gained half a second and he is still gaining. We have a yellow flag in 2 sectors for Shrikant, is it? Yup, the Red Bull driver not having a very good race here at the Red Bull ring. And he has...
in the comments, cost cap, Krant, whatever you want. Just don't make it legitimate.
Yes. For the back, we see Deadly Mosquito and Shrikant close.
Meanwhile,
but
Smith and
Deadly Mosquito getting so close.
losing it.
Oh no!
Dalmakni loses it, is on the grass.
Yup, and he's been passed by 2 cars and the next one...
I think he's gonna pit.
No, he isn't. I don't think he is. Not on this occasion. I think Dalmakni probably... Is he taking the gamble to stay out? Who is the car ahead of him? Is that Abhi? Yup, Abhi has been lapped once again. I think
that was a perfect time for him to go in. He just made a mistake, so...
Yeah, but...
He's gonna lose the time on
not sure what his strategy is gonna be like. He should... If at all, he should pit for the
more these two battle, that's gonna just pull Oxidize ever so close.
And Oxidize needs it now. It's 11.
And look at Sid. Sid,
9 laps left.
Oh.
Sid giving Dalmakni a bit of a headache there, but then again, Sid has his own race to worry about. If he's caught by Oxidize, he is not gonna have the tires to defend against. Sector 2 yellow flag for a Mercedes. Who is that? Ramen. And on the soft tires. So that's Sid with a brilliant exit.
Sid has to go to the grass.
Yup. Was he forced off over there? Or was that just a bit of opportunism by Sid? Another yellow flag for Ramen once again. Who is going to be lapped? Yup, Ramen's been lapped by P1 and P2 and soon to be P3 I believe as well. What does Dalmakni do? Does he pit or he is going to stay out? Alright.
I don't know what the plan is here. All I know is
look at Oxidize. He's gained a second and a half.
Yeah, Sid.
It's working out beautifully for Oxidize.
Yeah, and behind him, Spandan.
Into the 1 minute 10 on that lap on that occasion. For context, Oxidize on a 1.7.2, 0.8. I mean, but now this is gonna annoy Oxidize if Spandan fights him.
What Sid and Dalmakni need is for Oxidize and Spandan to battle, and look at Sid and Dalmakni so incredibly close, and Spandan is past the Haas driver, but what can Oxidize do? Can Oxidize defend? Nope.
No, I think he's playing it smart.
Oh, Sid and Dalmakni! This is the battle for the lead. I don't know if they make the contact there. No, that was... Oh. Speechless. It didn't have to end like that.
No. Yeah.
Absolutely did not have to end like that. And we have a car going the wrong way. Yeah, what's this? Oh, Spandan getting so...
Meanwhile, Spandan and Dalmakni as well.
Yup, and...
I think Oxidize just needs to keep his cool right now and stay behind. Oh, and Spandan goes...
The lights are blinking in front of Oxidize. He knows this is the time. He has to do it.
He needs to get a good exit out of turn 1 and he's gonna get probably 2 cars in the span of one single straight. And Spandan, he was trying to make a move.
What was he trying there?
Oxidize has got a pretty decent exit. The two of them are ahead of him are going to be
hold back. Oxidize really needs to just hang back right now.
Yup, and Spandan with the move. Oxidize, what is Oxidize going to be able to do? Is he going to go for the switch? Oh, comes close to making contact with Dalmakni, but...
We're having live stewarding in the chat right now.
And Shrikant with the penalty.
Look at this. Yeah.
And Oxidize has not been able to make too many inroads despite Dalmakni's misfortunes.
Can somebody check the points table, because I have a
the points table has not been updated with Portugal.
It has been updated.
Has it?
I feel like Shrikant is abdicating that P1 in the championship. This is not the type of race he needed. But it's bad news now for Oxidize. Spandan has not caught up to Sid at all since the incident. And he's now stuck behind Dalmakni.
Were any of you... What's happened to Abdul Samad? No, something... yellow flag for a Mercedes who's that? Deadly Mosquito, yup. And there's another yellow flag for Ramen. Yup. Ramen's driving very slowly. I think is he gonna box? Or what is he gonna do?
And he has no fuel as well, Ramen. So.
Box to retire. Yup, he's down by... Well, that is a me situation.
Dalmakni and Oxidize.
Side by side, and Dal Makhani going so deep, and he makes contact. No, 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 no. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, that was. I think Sid would be well aware that he doesn't have to fight Spandan like at all.
I mean, he would still like to
and
win it
Boxer
on
guys-
track.
Yeah, but you'd win it anyway right now, considering the situations that's arising here.
Were
I
any
don't
of
know
you
why
on board
Dal
with
Makhani didn't-
Dal Makhani or Sid during their bit of a moment there?
I was on board. It was the quintessential Albon Lewis thing.
I mean, he is in a Red Bull,
Meanwhile,
so
there's still 6 laps to go, so Oxidize can really.
Five.
They're
goals.
gaining
has a-
on Sid now.
Azun says Sid has a puncture. Is he trying to jump scare us? Yes, he certainly
Sid
is.
does not have a puncture.
Because Sid does not have a puncture.
Yeah, if
Thank
Dal
you,
Makhani
Azun.
doesn't have a puncture, then I don't know how Sid could have a puncture.
Exactly. Because Dal Makhani was a bit twitchy coming out of turn 1.
Yeah,
So-
I wonder why he hasn't pit yet. He has a free pit stop as well, and he would have easily been in the podium fight. So his strategy guy has clearly fed him the wrong information.
Yep. And as we enter the final 5 laps of this race, it is still Sid Venkatesh in the lead. But do you think that Spandan can catch up?
I think he can get him on track. I don't think he can get him with the penalty.
He is gaining Spandan, but is it at a... Is he
It
gaining
might be a last lap thing,
by
and if it's
enough?
a last lap thing, Sid will be well aware that he doesn't have to fight it. Even if he doesn't know about the pit lane, he's gonna see that 3 seconds, and he'll know.
Yep. And okay, multiple drivers with penalties. From P9 down to P15, it's a great wall of penalties. And Shrikant with the fastest lap there, but it's little
That gives him
consolation
1
for him.
point. That gives him 1 point right there. That does actually
It's,
kind of matter. He is in the
do you
top
get the
12.
points if you're outside the top 10?
Considering he doesn't
Yeah.
spin again and gets out of the top 12.
Okay, the sky is getting very gloomy again. Do you guys think it is gonna be slight droplets?
Yellow flag.
Mercedes
For
Ramen.
Ramen.
It's a race to forget for him.
Yep, and he is 2 laps down on the leaders, I think. He's on
And
lap
he has
30,
one
I
lap
believe.
also.
Yep, he's on lap 30,
I
Sid is on
think he's
32.
just trying to hit his. I think he's just trying to hit his fuel target right there. Look at the way he's taking that last corner. He probably has heavy rear wing
Okay,
damage now.
Sid is really struggling right now.
Yep, and I believe the... I don't know why I feel like...
Oxidize's pace has just fallen off rapidly.
Yep, further back, let's have a look at Smith, Ace and Malav. This is a very close battle between the 4 cars actually. It's not just Smith and Malav and Ace. It's also Abdul Samad and Smith and Ace side by side down this back straight. Who is going to come out on top? I think it is Smith is going to hold position for now. Yep, but Ace with a great exit, and as they approach the left-hander, no, Smith has the track position. So there is a lot of battles going on. So Azun asking, did Oxidize get damage from the turn 3 incident with Dal Makhani?
I mean, his front wing looks intact.
I think it's
At
more
least-
side pod or diffuser damage which he means. Azun, another yellow flag
Sector
for a
2,
Mercedes.
Ramen.
Yep, he's hitting his fuel limit, that's for sure. And he is gonna be...
Do I see droplets?
That's what I was gonna
Yes,
say. This
yes,
look at
those
the
are
sky.
droplets, those are
It's
droplets.
raining!
It is. Yep.
Wow!
I called it. Yep. I feel very happy. I don't necessarily feel happy that I called it, but okay, we have a car again going
Ramen
sideways.
again!
Yep. And what does Sid do? What does Sid
And
do on that?
Spandan loses it!
No,
Completely.
Spandan. He's bottled
that
it.
removes all the pressure from Sid in a way. He has nothing
Yup.
to worry about now.
And behind him,
He
Dal
just
Makhani
needs
now
to-
gets passed.
But
Yeah.
again, if the track's getting quite damp and it's pouring down now,
But-
so
but,
his
I
heart
think
will
if
be.
there's- I think if there's a 1 lap, it's going to be a car control thing from him now. Even if somebody pits for inters, they wouldn't be able to catch
It
up.
doesn't make
The
sense to
lap time
pit
is
now.
too
The
short.
track is not gonna become wet enough by the end of the race, I feel. Or even if it Dan Lord taking the risk. All right, P15. Dan Lord taking the risk,
Might as
and
well.
he is.
Abdul
Yeah, he
taking
might
the
as well.
risk.
Abdul taking the risk. No, it's
Abdul was in the
vintage into the pit lane. Oh,
That's a
Abdul
ridiculous
was in the
call.
points. Abdul was in the points. What is he doing and what is Vintage doing?
yup. Why are they boxing? I'm not sure, but I mean, for vintage, it is no. Even for vintage, it's not understandable because he's going to be overtaken by 3 cars behind him. Yup. Well, let's
thing
have a look.
is,
Spandan and
it's
Dal
even-
Makhani so close, and Oh, they come very close to coming together, but thankfully they don't. And there's a Mercedes once again. Not too sure. It's a sector to yellow flag. I think
Damn
Jorgen
Lord.
Vifix has left the session. All right. Great game. We have Harshi into the pit lane, so a lot of drivers on the intermediates. Can you just keep a track of who's on the intermediates and whether they're gaining time? Ace and Smith coming very
They are
close.
not gaining enough. They are not gaining enough.
You have
In
left
fact,
the
I would
session,
say they're
Vifix.
losing time. Yeah, but I can see the timers.
Ah, yeah.
They are not gaining time. They are not gaining
Yeah.
time. It's not gonna be enough. I don't understand the call, to be honest. It's 2 laps left, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it is
I mean,
not worth it.
Sid on his...
DRS is disabled, so Sid starts the...
Still
No,
not
he
gonna-
is
yeah,
on the penultimate lap. He has to... I think he... For his own sake, he would like to build up a bit of a gap to oxidize in case he gets some sort of a penalty for the contact with Dal Makhani, because that's the only bit of contact he's been involved in the entire race. But...
I
Vintage
don't
has crashed out
understand-
on the intermediates! Oh, so the intermediate runners are struggling for some reason, while the dry runners are actually...
that is one of the
Vintage.
worst strategy calls I've ever seen. From Vintage right there.
Meanwhile, Oxidize is... Oh,
Gaining. He's really gaining.
Anything could happen here.
Yup, and as Sid Venkatesh starts the final lap of this race, it
It's
is
100
dry tires on a damp track, and Ace and Smith, these two are out for blood, and Ace trying to make the move around the outside at the Albon corner, and they come close to contact, but thankfully nothing doing on this occasion. Yup.
This is Sid's
And
100th race. He's playing 99 not out on the last ball of the innings. Can he complete it?
I certainly think he can. He just needs to be cautious. I'm not too sure. By the way, good point by Azun. Actually, how are Dal Makhani, Mayank and Abhi's tires still going? That's pretty impressive by all of them. But yeah, Sid, I believe he has just done everything he could have. Apart from a post-race steward's room inquiry, nothing can stop him from taking the win on his 100th consecutive IRL race. And he's not going to take any unnecessary risks here.
And his 100th overall as well. He has never missed an IRL race
Oh,
since
all
May
right.
2020.
That is a feat, quite a remarkable feat there. And Sid coming up to the final corner in the Ferrari. He has driven quite an impressive race. A mighty effort by Sid, who wins the Austrian Grand Prix. Oxidize comes up behind him to finish P2. Spandan, he had a bit of a chaotic race. He finishes P3. Dal Makhani has spun! Oh, and Mayank gonna get... He's between the two Mercedes, Mayank. And the two Mercedes, what are they doing? I'm not sure what's going on. And Dal Makhani is doing donuts. Alright, so he does not have any intention of completing the race. And yep, there you go.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to flick the car around.
No, I think he's just doing donuts.
understand.
No, I think his race engineer has given
to
him a bit of
summarize-
advice there.
Yeah. To summarize, Lamar.
And Malav P5. Great effort by him there in the end, despite all the illegitimate
Ace
things you may have
P6.
said about him. Ace P6,
I think
Smith
Abdul should
P7.
have just stayed out on his
I
dry
must say that
tires.
vintage player, the vintage
Abdul
player
and
call
Vintage,
for
yeah,
P6
both of
has to
them
be
made
one of the,
really not so very
Abdul
good
was on the
calls.
fringes of the points. Vintage was in 5th. He was 15 seconds behind P4.
And Abdul
And
crosses the
10
line.
ahead of P6. He had nothing to risk. I don't understand why he...
Shrikant in the Red Bull gonna come up to the
After the
line.
penalties, that's still not enough for Mayank to get on the podium. 20 seconds is worth of penalties plus another 3 seconds.
Yup, and Dal Makhani is gonna give us some very tasty donuts all the way
Which
till he
means
crosses the line.
That's a 23-second penalty for Spandan for the next race. 20-second penalty for the next race.
Would it be applied to the next race or this race?
Yeah, because it didn't change his position, so that's the next.
Oh,
Whoa.
unfortunate for Spandan there. And
Let me invite the podium sitters to the party.
yup, as we wait for Dal Makhani to finish the race. Okay, the cinematic camera is really bugging out. I'm gonna stay on the cinematic camera because we're gonna get to see eSports F1 22. And okay, what
We
I
want
was
to see.
going? Yep, the cinematic camera is having a very, very nice time, showing us nothing. And we see a glimpse of Dal Makhani's front right tire, and I believe at last he has decided to come up to the line and finish his race, or has he? Let's see, 30 seconds to go, and well, he is P10 for sure.
And the man above telling me that Dal Makhani's brother didn't want Dal Makhani to outscore him. Okay.
And 15 seconds, 14 seconds, and he's been lapped by his sister car there. And Dal Makhani, I believe, is going to come up to the line. No, he is not. So he's not going to make the checkered flag. I don't think so. So I'm just going to switch over to Sid Venkatesh, the man of the moment, and he's retired on track. Make of that what you will. Dal Makhani, but
one thing is that he's still getting points, by the way.
Yes.
But he was on the lead lap, so we can't let him
exactly.
finish his P10.
Yep.
So he does get more points than his counterpart did in the car that Sid is winning in.
Yes. And Thakur has just left the session, so props to him for staying on for 36 laps. Yes. That is mighty impressive. And we have the Centurion over here with us. Sid Venkatesh has just won the race from P5 on the grid. Oxidize from P2, stays in P2. Spandan, a multitude of penalties coming his way, but he has guaranteed himself a P3 finish in this race. Mayank is P4. Malav from P14 to P5. A good effort by him there. Smith and Ace trading places in the end towards the final few laps, and Smith does finish ahead of the Haas driver. Smith finishes P6, Ace finishes P7. Abdul with a late gamble which didn't really pay off. Not a very clever gamble by him there. P8. Shrikant and Dal Makhani, the Red Bull boys, P9 and P10 at their home Grand Prix. Don't know what to say about that. Harshi is P11, Abhi is P12, Deadly Mosquito is 13th, Danlord is 14th, Ramen 15th, Vintage 16th. He did not finish the race but is still classified because he finished more than 90%. And Thakurba is our only DNF. I'm going to run through the incidents as well real fast for the stewards per usual. Yep, there you go. And in case you want, the pit stops as well. Alright, I believe that is it. Do we have everybody in the party with us? Sid, Oxidize and Spandan?
Yep.
Alright. So while I wait for the screen to... Yeah, it has finally changed. So I believe we're going to start off with Spandan. So Spandan.
I don't think Spandan's here.
He's not here, right?
Someone...
No, I don't.
Can someone try inviting him again?
I will try to send him an invite. And
yeah, I've added him.
Oh, a bit of a... Nonetheless, I shall go over to the showroom, and that was a very, very good race. One of the all-time classics, I'd say. And while we wait for Spandan, do we start off with Oxidize?
Yeah.
I guess we can. Nothing else we can do at the moment. So Oxidize, are you here with us, and do you have audio sharing enabled?
Yeah, it is enabled.
Yep. So Oxidize, good race by you, P2, but I'm pretty sure you're not going to be satisfied with that. Alright, so Spandan's here. Do we switch over to Spandan or do we carry on? I think we can just carry on.
I think we should just finish the
Alright. Yep, so Oxidize, you were the first one to make the second pit stop rather, and just walk us through your race and your strategy as well, because in the end it just didn't pay off for you. You missed out by about 2.5 seconds. So just walk us through your strategy gambles and your race.
Well, my quali wasn't great. I was expecting pole, but I missed pole by 3-4 tenths. So I was frustrated with it, and the race started. Somehow I got into P1 and had a good lead of 3 or 4 seconds, I guess. I was pushing, and instead of going to hards, the game just put me into mediums, and I was expecting me to be in hards. And I selected hard strategy, but that didn't happen. I was like, okay, I don't know when to quit, and I was looking for it was a 1 lead driver in hards, and I thought other drivers could pull out of him. I was trying my best to make the gap between me and Sid a bit longer, but at the end I pitted and it didn't pay off me. It was a complete waste. And as I pit, I had a very cold tire, and it's like Spandan just caught me. So like I had a 3 second gap, and Spandan just caught me within a lap. And I was like, okay, this is not gonna happen. I thought I'm gonna lose the race, but somehow I just managed.
Well, nonetheless, it was still a good drive by you. P2 is, you can be pretty proud of this P2. It was in challenging conditions as well in the end. Do either of you boys have anything to ask Oxidize?
I mean, not really. I think it was a very good race from him. I think the battles he kept Spandan behind him for a large part of it. So I think P2 sometimes is just he kind of just lost it, or when he didn't pit for hards at that lap 6 when it initially changed. I think that's.
Yep. Oh, we have lost Redstone. Nonetheless, I believe we are gonna proceed forth to Spandan. So, Spandan, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yep. All right. So, is your audio sharing enabled?
I think so. I did in the last race.
Yep. So, I hope if somebody in chat can just let us know if they can hear Spandan. Or maybe I can pull up the stream. Let me just make sure that we can hear you.
Oxidize, were you on wet setup?
Sorry, buddy?
Were you on a wet setup? Wet?
No, buddy, dry setup. I was winning 17-20.
I don't know, how did I caught you? There was a gap, huge gap between you and me.
Yeah, bro.
You were falling back as well.
You had crazy pace, but bad luck. I'm seriously saying, you had crazy pace.
Yep.
You literally pulled 3 seconds away from me. Last 3 laps, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna get P2. Then we just got it.
I spun, I forgot.
Yeah.
I was pushing too hard for Venkatesh. The gap was falling more and more, and I got intrigued and spun.
Yep. So I think you've done a pretty good rundown, but do you have anything else you'd like to add? So just Spandan, how was the end of the race? We saw you had that spin there while chasing down Sid Venkatesh. And I believe you're gonna have a couple of penalties coming your way because of a couple of pit entry cuts. So I mean, nonetheless, you are guaranteed P3. Vifix, are you here with us right now?
Yeah,
I'm here.
Yep. So, all right. So, nonetheless, it is still P3 for you, and it was quite a good race by you. You had some fantastic pace. It's just that the penalty, the 3-sec penalty, and the succeeding penalties to come might hinder your other progress. But just walk us through your race.
Honestly, I didn't have much expectation to today's race. I didn't done any practice. I was busy for the last couple of days, so didn't expect anything. Quali also went very badly. I went on low fuel mode on my fastest last lap. I was almost 3 tenths up. In the last sector, it was on low fuel mode. So I was not expecting much from the race since it was wet and I'm very bad at wet race. But fortunately, I had a great start. And Oxida just flew the first few laps, was just flying. And Venkatesh also very good defending from him. But fortunately, my Jeff told me to box in lap 6 just before a few seconds, and I had the advantage. But unfortunately, I got a 3-second penalty, which hugely demotivated me. Otherwise, I almost had the race today.
Yep. I mean, it was a great performance by you. You really had the pace. Vifix, would you like to ask him anything?
Yeah, I mean, not really. I think you guys and Dal Makhani were just in a different world, because even after like how hard you guys were pushing each other, you were still like comfortably ahead of whoever was P5. So I think that's a very impressive drive.
Venkatesh did a very good strategy. I have to give it to him. I thought it was gonna rain at the last few laps, like lap 30, 29. I was expecting heavy rain. I finished on slicks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations,
the
Spandan.
game's weather is just predicting weather it's always a challenge.
It's like predicting your future.
Certainly.
Or predicting Shrikant Dasu's terrible.
Dal Makhani is a reserve or a full time here?
Reserve.
Pretty good pace for a reserve, I would say.
Yes, certainly. And now we move on to the Centurion and the person who just won his 100th IRL race, Sid Venkatesh. What an incredible performance by you today. Just walk us through your race.
Man, I have nothing to say right now. I mean, once Caesar put up that announcement, there was so much pressure on me after that. I'm like, 100th race, how are we going to do it? It's crazy. And to start off, my quali was not the best. I mean, I thought I could get faster, but I was just struggling with some. I wasn't getting the right setup, tire pressure especially. I messed around with it later, and I got quicker. But yeah, the race start just gave me from P5, if I'm not wrong, I went to P2 after turn 1, and it was like after that, catching with Oxidize was impossible, and then Spandan came to me and he was much faster. But yeah, on the wets I was losing it because I was running a completely dry setup, and I did plan to go on hards. I did want to start the race on hards also. I would have started on hards if it was a dry race. And Austria, when it says it's going to rain in the end, in another league it happened last month. It rained for 2 laps in the end. Same thing, I was so sure it would happen again here today, and it happened. And after that, when I knew I was in the hards and I was matching up to Dal Makhani and Spandan, I thought, okay, there is pace today, and we will be net P1. It just worked brilliantly for me. And Malav and Smicha also in the chat were like, it's possible to finish the race on hard. So, I mean, everything went on perfectly as per plan today. I mean, I have nothing to say more on that. I was just excited today. And yeah, congrats to Spandan and Oxidize Rage. Both of them were really quick. They were in fact quicker than me today, for sure. And even Dal Makhani, that guy kept me on my feet. He was really quick for a reserve. I think we should try him out in D1.
Certainly. And speaking of Dal Makhani, yeah, what happened there at the Albon corner between the two of you?
I mean, the previous lap, Dal Makhani went to the right of the track on the exit. So I thought, okay, this time, and I was literally pushed off track that time. So this time I thought, okay, let me do it the other way. I'll take a wider line and let me exit on the left side. I definitely got a better run, and by the time we touched, I was like right next to him, and the same thing happened. He touched my right front, and he just spun out. Yeah, but I believe he didn't see me on the left. He expected me to be on the right. I don't think I've ever defended or attacked anybody as much as I've ever done today. Today was, I don't know, it just pumped me up, and I wanted to win the race today. I was telling these guys, I hope I win today. And I mean, the battles were superb today. Spandan, then it was Dal Makhani for a bit. It was great drive by everybody actually. And I was surprised these guys went on mediums. I thought they would go on hards.
Yep, I think a couple of them were misled by the game's that boxes lap call, but I believe your strategy was pretty spot on. You chose your strategy very wisely, and just congratulations to you. Well done on your milestone race win. Yes.
Thanks a lot, guys. And I think the last 2 laps were absolutely scary for me because I had worn out tires. I had 65% of tire wear, and I was worried I'm going to spin out just the way that happened to me in the other league. But yeah, today I held it. I mean, somehow I wasn't trying to push hard because Oxidize was like 4.5, 5 seconds behind me. And even Spandan, the previous lap before he spun, was just like 4, 5 seconds behind me, and he had a 3 seconds. So I was just playing it calm. I would have let him overtake me even if he wanted to. But I was stayed within the 3 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nonetheless, I
Congrats, Sid.
I think you guys heard a lot of me today.
Yeah.
No
complaints. Saw it on track. We were going to invite you to the party chat anyway, but I feel like this is the perfect way for those people who say that IRL is rigged to confirm their suspicions. Yeah.
Certain driver.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you practice Australia before the race?
Man, I don't get time to practice before the race also because I'm busy trying to invite people into into the lobby, and somehow it doesn't work. And we are busy trying to run the start the race.
How is your M340i?
Arey, bhai, we are on a stream right now.
Yep, which I'm just gonna end right now. Yes. So
congrats to Sid.
Thanks, guys.
And congrats for 100.
Thanks,
and hopefully we get 100 more.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yes.
Congrats, Spandan and Oxidize. And you guys on comms.
Congrats to you, Macha.
Thanks, Macha.
Yep. And with that, thank you everyone for tuning in. This was Division 2. Stay tuned for tomorrow. We're going to have the Division 1 race around the same track, obviously with different drivers. And until then, thank you, take care, good night, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.